Just off the Texas coast sits a unique beach town marked with salty vibes and sun-soaked memories. Port Aransas is a place where family traditions unfold naturally, and beauty lies both in island views and the unhurried moments between adventures. One visit, and you'll see why generations of Texans have anchored their traditions to the island life. Start your new favorite family tradition in Port Aransas, Texas. Go to visitportaransas.com and plan your visit to Austin's beach. Today on CityCast Austin, we're talking about last week's fatal crash on I-35, the big change affecting South by Southwest next year, and our weekend plans. Joining me on this week's Friday News Roundup are Hey Austin newsletter editor Kelsey Bradshaw and executive producer Eva Ruth Moravec. It's Friday, March 21st. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hello, Eva.
Hello.
Hey, Kelsey.
Hi. It's so weird to be sitting right next to you.
No.
Insane.
Everyone, we are in person. We are in person. We sing each other in the flesh. Happy Friday.
Woo.
It is Friday. Bitch, go out and have some fun.
This is good.
Yeah.
Keep going. We don't need to do the news.
This will just be us singing for the next foreseeable.
Singing podcast.
Yeah. Okay. So here's some things that's been going on this week. We're going to start out with something pretty not awesome, but I feel like we need to talk about it. There was a 17-vehicle car crash on I-35 last Thursday that killed 5 people, including an infant and a child, and it injured at least a dozen more people. And so it happened shortly after 11:30 p.m. on southbound I-35 near Palmer Lane. 37-year-old driver of an Amazon 18-wheeler. He was arrested and booked on 5 counts of intoxication manslaughter and 2 charges of intoxication assault. So evidently what happened is it was coming to the point where vehicles were consolidating from 3 lanes into 1. And he just didn't slow down. There was as many as 19 cars hit. It spread out for like a 1/10 of a mile. TxDOT is doing a resurfacing project there right now. So it is a cluster, just to say the least. Police think he was under the influence of depressants and showed signs of intoxication, including swaying and watery, bloodshot eyes, but he tested 0.0 on his breathalyzer test. But a detective who conducted the follow-up examination concluded that he was under the influence of CNS depressants. And they're a broad category of a drug. It's kind of like a sedative. It depresses the central nervous system. Our Department of Public Safety found that he had a history of hours of service violations, which is when a commercial driver works longer hours than is allowed by law, including several in the week leading up to the crash. And he also had prior hazardous moving violations while operating commercial vehicles. Y'all, it is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my friend called me from another state and was like, "Are you okay? I saw about this crash." It's just really sad. You know, it's family and kid and a baby.
My heart just sank seeing that headline because it was South by and, everybody's out. And it was just like, I personally was just like, please don't let this be a drunk driver who got overserved at South by and then went out and killed a bunch of people on the highway.
Yeah, my first thought was that it was like that 2015, or was it 2014?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. 2014.
That case of during South by when a drunk driver ran into a South by crowd. And that was my first thought too. I was like, ugh. And I think it speaks to the horribleness of this that we're all talking about it, because crashes happen every day, and this was one where we're all just like, oh my god, 17 vehicles, 5 people killed in a crash. You don't really see that often.
It's in the pictures, just y'all. And so here's my thing, the construction in that area, both northbound and southbound on 35 from about Runberg to Grand Avenue Parkway in Pflugerville is just awful. It's like the lanes kind of jackknife and turn in different directions without a lot of like notice.
And that wall right
and
next to you.
And then there's concrete
shoulders.
wall.
Yeah.
There are no shoulders.
Yeah.
It's just concrete walls on either side and you're boxed in. And there's like a little bit of room on the driver's side, but there's nowhere to go. And every time I'm on 35 on that stretch, I hate to be that person, but it's like, it was just a matter of time. Like, it's a recipe. It doesn't take away from his culpability and what he,
right.
But like, it was just a matter of time. Yeah. If anybody has been there recently, it's just like, it's like
scary.
You're going one way and then all of a sudden all of the traffic is supposed to go a different way and the lanes aren't clear. And so I think about the fact that we're about to go into 10 plus years of construction on 35.
Yeah. Well, driving on 35 already sucks and is already such like a learned skill.
Yeah. It just makes me think about like how we are going to navigate because essentially it is our only thoroughfare, our major thoroughfare in and out of this city. There is nowhere. I mean, you can go around in different points, but for the most part, that is it. So for the next 10 years, how are we going to navigate?
Right. Well, this? And I also remember it's been a few years since I heard this discussion, but like 130, Texas 130 kind of is an option,
right?
But it goes way out of the way.
Taking Texas 130 back to North Texas.
Out of the way.
Yes.
It's so out of the way.
I've taken it. I used to take it to San Antonio when I had to like commute there because it seems like, but it is very far out of the way. Yeah. But like, what if truck drivers were forced to take that?
Exactly.
Instead of I-35, especially now that it's going to be this crazy construction zone for a while, like, would it be better if they just were removed from the middle of Austin for a few years?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
That's a good idea, actually.
There's this whole other... Sorry. There's this whole other conversation that I've been seeing, like, on social media and stuff, too, about how this driver, like, how tired was he? Because he's like an Amazon truck driver and like Amazon, they're delivering stuff within 48 hours and all this stuff. And so like,
because we're all so consumer obsessed.
And so like, there's a conversation about that too. And driving is already so dangerous.
Yeah. Why does he feel the need to drive so many hours?
Right.
What, again, not trying to take away his accountability.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, why does he need to be driving so many hours?
Everything is connected.
Over what he's allowed legally to drive.
Right.
Why is he needing to do that? Does he have a family to feed?
The cost of living is too high.
The cost of living is too high. It tumbles down. So I have everybody that was involved just like in my thoughts. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about that family.
And the people who were on the highway too and witnessed it.
The whole thing is really sad. The whole thing is really tragic. The whole thing is really awful. So please, everybody, just be careful. Be careful on the roads. Please drive like you got some damn sense. Please, 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 please. I don't even have a segue other than I want to stop talking about this because it makes me really sad.
That's good. That's good. That's a good segue.
Yeah. It makes us really sad.
We are going to go to the next thing that does not make us as sad.
Topic 2.
This is also kind of sad.
Damn it. We promise it's going to get better, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, it's Nikki. I have to tell you about Tecovas boots. I finally have a pair, and I don't know if y'all know this, but they're handmade, high quality, and stylish. And they're comfortable right outside of the box. Now, I know we buy everything online these days, but trust me, you have to get fitted for some boots at Tecovas. Now, whether you're like me, a newbie to boots, or you have a closet full of them, the folks at Tecovas will help you find your next favorite pair. So, grab a friend, head on over to the Tecovas flagship on South Congress or their store at the Domain. Plus, good news, they just opened a store in Georgetown at 709 Main Street for those of you that live just a little further north. With 3 locations in town, you have no excuses. So, that's tecovas.com. TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all.
This episode is sponsored by Babbel. Are you holding back on foreign travel plans this year because you're afraid of the language gap? I'm not, because I have Babbel. I'm David Plotz, the CEO of CityCast, and I'm learning Spanish on Babbel, getting ready for a trip to Mexico City. Babbel is the language learning app that gets you talking. Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons, handcrafted by over 200 language experts, get you to begin speaking your new language in 3 weeks or at whatever pace you choose. Babbel's tips and tools are inspired by the real-life stuff you actually need when communicating. With a focus on conversation, you'll be ready to talk wherever you go. Babbel has given me great lessons on getting directions, ordering in a restaurant, and making plans. And of all the things I'm doing in Mexico City, I'm probably most excited about the soccer game we're going to. So I was excited to learn how to cheer from Babbel. That'll be me you'll hear yelling, "Fuerza Tigres! Fuerza Tigres!" With over 16 million subscriptions sold, Babbel's 14 award-winning language courses are backed by a 20-day money-back guarantee. Let's get more of you talking in a new language. Babbel is gifting our listeners 60% off subscriptions at babbel.com/citycast. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/citycast. Spelled BABBEL.com/citycast. Babbel.com/citycast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
So South by Southwest, they had some huge news at the end of the festival, and it's that next year's South by is going to be missing the second weekend, which means they've gotten rid of the music-only weekend, and the festival will be shorter. Instead of 9 or 10 days, it's going to be 7, and it's going to be held March 12th through the 19th. And it's caused quite the stir, and I don't know, I've really loved seeing all the hot takes and all the conversation about this, and I love I don't know. I love that Austin is buzzing with the story, whether or not they agree with it or not.
Yeah.
And 2 of the stories that we've seen this week have been from Texas Monthly and Rolling Stone. And it's very interesting because...
Isn't it?
Yes. Because Rolling Stone's parent company... I've never heard of this company. P-MRC? Is that how you say it?
You don't know P-.
Sounds fake.
P-. Anybody? They have held a 50%. Those P-dashers. They've held a 50% stake in the festival since 2021. What? And so the story that got put out by Rolling Stone was music's not dead. Everything's fine. It's going to be great. It's basically the story.
It sounds so desperate.
No, really.
No,
lead.
look.
Yes, the lead of the story is reports of South by Southwest's demise have been greatly exaggerated. And it's don't worry, guys. Organizers tell Rolling Stone that live music will be well represented next year. And then there's this great post-mortem from Texas Monthly from Andy Langer.
Read that lead.
Yes.
This lead's great. Is the music portion of Austin's South by Southwest Festival in its death throes? Last week it certainly I know. Last week it certainly felt that way. This was a snack-sized South by Southwest. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, South by Southwest routinely hosted nearly 2,000 bands on nearly 100 stages. This year, those numbers bottomed out at 1,012 and 46. Crowds were sparse, hotel occupancy was down, only a handful of corporate sponsors showed up, and buzz bands were few and far between. One publicist told me he was overwhelmed not by Southwest, but by his general workload. Typically, he said, the music industry freezes for South by Southwest. It's a given that everyone is in Austin, not this year.
So sad.
Yeah, 2 very different,
very dramatic
happening.
takes.
Yeah. Is South by Southwest dead? What do we think?
Listen, I think that South by is genuinely on its last leg. I think, maybe what's fair to say is what it used to be does not exist anymore.
Right.
And I think that it feels like it's on purpose. I feels like they're just leaning towards we trying to make that money, and the way that we can make that money is with big budget films or films, interactive,
a lot
weird
of films.
kind of weird installations.
Yeah.
That's how we're making the money. This isn't about the music anymore. So they might as well just say that and stop trying to act no. Things are still cool here, guys. We're still cool. We're still that cool uncle that wears socks and I don't know. House shoes. That's what it's just it's giving
yeah, that cool uncle.
It's
is that cool?
I feel like this is weird. I feel
could be that uncle.
I feel like it's South by used to be youthful and timeless. You know what I mean? Because they did so much work on being like, not only are we going to bring you this big stuff, but this is a kid that plays in his basement.
And it's
new. And we found him
like,
and it's new. And he makes music with like his shoes in the top of a trash can. You know what I mean? Like that is that's like the like nice grunge part of South by that felt so fresh and like you were seeing something you'd never seen before, and that is gone.
Yeah.
It is gone. Well, like that, and it seems like they're okay with losing it to me.
Well, when we talked on yesterday's episode about how like South by felt really empty this year too.
So empty.
And like I've been going to this festival for 10 years. And even in that time, like when you talk about what South by used to be, I have no idea what that is. Because even in like within the last 10 years, I feel like it's absolutely different from like what you've been talking about, like growing up with South by in your city. And like I have never thought of it as like a music festival.
Right.
Oh, Kelsey, you are blowing my mind.
Yeah, I'm the same. No. I always thought about it as like interactive first. Yeah. And then kind of music was always this like weekend, this part that I couldn't really figure out because it just seemed so everywhere.
Yeah.
I know. This year was actually my first year of being like, I'm just going to bop around to these unofficial showcases. It really made me appreciate that part of South by, like the spread a lot more.
Yeah.
But I did used to always think about it as an interactive festival first with like these crazy activations that people would just talk about and, you know, it's.
I feel very old. I feel very, very old right now. But I mean, that speaks to what you're saying. Yeah. It is not the same anymore.
Yeah, it's changed over
time. And so I think that what I feel like what we're going to see is a split. Yeah. I feel like somebody hungry and young with money is going to come in and be like, okay, so this is South by. Now here comes this days-long music festival.
Yeah.
And if you want to get back to what this used to be about, we're the live music capital of the world. Like you keep saying that.
Where the entire record industry like that. I love that idea that like the whole record industry is here, like exploring, you know, finding new bands, like signing people up. And we kind of heard about that some from the musicians episode too, that like that's where it used to be a place where you could get discovered. And now it's like these big names coming to showcases that are they really bringing anything new?
They're not bringing anything.
But even that, like, I didn't see really anyone I like wanted to see. As far as like big names go, like people I actually have heard of. I have friends who talk about like seeing Lizzo before Lizzo was big, or the night, that Lady Gaga was here and like did a crazy thing, or like Prince came to South by.
Right.
Listen,
there used to be moments happening.
That's it. There used to be moments. One of my favorite South by Southwests. I was walking around. I was going from East 6th to West 6th. And I'm just walking along and I look over and I see like a big, beautiful blue car in front of what used to be the old Encore Records right on 6th and 35. I look over and I'm like, what's going on? And it looks like someone is like filming a rap video. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So I just kind of go over and it's Bun B from UGK filming a rap video out in the middle of the day in front of this beautiful powder blue Cadillac.
Oh, how cool.
And it's like, if you didn't have the curiosity, like, because I was kind of far away, and I was like, that kind of looks like Bun B. And I was like, that wouldn't be Bun B without security.
Right.
Or I don't know, any kind of...
An entourage.
It was just like a tarp up, like hiding him.
Nothing. Him, a powder blue Cadillac, and like his homie with a camera, and maybe 3 other people, and then other looky-loos like me that were like, just like mouth open. It's like, that was what South by was, where you could just be walking around in the middle of the day and just see some shit that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're going to do it. And my friend Jared was telling me the other day that for him, South by was Faderfort.
Yes.
Where it was like, you would get these whisperings that somebody's going to come. And one year he was there, or the last year he was there, was the year that Drake came.
Oh my God.
And they were like, you can leave, but if you leave, you got to get back at the end of that line. And he was like, and I remember poking my head out and seeing the line all the way to 35. And the guy was like, I don't know, Drake might show up tonight. And he was like, well, I ain't leaving. It was just like those kind of moments where you don't know who's coming.
Yeah. But you don't want to miss out.
But you don't want to miss out. And that just does not I don't see where that exists anymore.
It felt really like kind of corporate and
Corporate and sterile.
Sterile is the
we're
word,
more Team Andy Langer
I think so.
than Team Rolling Stone, which
Yeah.
kind of makes sense because it is like, does Andy maybe know our music scene a little bit better
I think so.
as a local?
Yeah.
He's certainly been
I would say
DJ
so.
here for a long time.
Well, I don't think P2 or P6 or whoever it says.
P-Dash.
P-Dash don't know. They don't live here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
what they bring next year for South by Music.
We'll see what they do.
I'm very interested to see what happens in the next couple years because the convention center is going to be closed.
Yeah.
We've lost a weekend.
Yeah, go and bury it and get your eulogy ready. That's all I got to say about that.
It's not the only time you can see good music in town.
Oh my God.
Listen. I tried to slide in a small segue. That was way better. Speaking of which,
let's hear it.
Let's
I'm
go,
just saying,
Let's
I do have a music rec for y'all.
Let's do it.
Girl in a Coma is playing at Mohawk on Saturday night. And if you don't know Girl in a Coma, they're a very fun band from San Antonio. Rock, punky, just different, very unique. And it's two best friends, and one of their little sisters started a band when the best friends were in middle school.
Cute.
That's cute.
And they've kept it up. And they're, very, really talented group. And I would recommend going to check them out on Saturday. And then, not music, but at a music venue, Wanda Sykes is going to be performing on Saturday at ACL Live.
Listen.
Music or comedy, go get your entertainment on.
That's good.
What about you, Kelsey?
So I'm still trying to rest from South by.
Fair.
So I'm taking it easy this weekend.
Take it easy.
And I'm going to head over to the Texas Science and Natural History Museum.
Ooh.
There's an exhibit there that I've been wanting to see. It's called Science Frontiers Particles of Color, and it's a science and fashion showcase. And it has 50 objects that have been designed using more than 10,000 sustainable sequins.
Ooh,
what? Okay, what?
Cool.
Yeah.
Sequence.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And they're it explores the research behind the plant-based, compostable, and non-toxic sequins. And I love sequins in my wardrobe.
Where is this?
The Science Museum at UT.
When?
Yeah, just it's going to last through 2025. It's been open since last spring, and I keep being I need to get out there. And I feel like this would be a nice, chill thing to do this weekend. Because, I had so much food and drinking and music and the whole thing. So I feel like that would be a nice little thing.
Get a little craft inspo.
Yeah, some inspo.
From the sparkles.
I love this.
Isn't that
sounds
fun?
cool.
Yeah. What are you doing, Nikki?
Oh, y'all. Okay.
Nikki's I will not be taking a break.
Listen.
No break ever.
Listen, it's still March Madness over in my world. Saturday, I will be at my sister's birthday party, but there are lots of cool things happening. So first of all, Saturday, Bloody Mary Fest. Unlimited, you get a ticket. It's at Fair Market, which is on 1100 East 5th Street. I don't particularly like Bloody Marys because tomatoes are gross, but
it's a whole salad. What are you talking about?
But it's a really wet salad.
It's a really wet salad. And I'm just I get the gist of what we're trying to do, but anyway, we're not talking about me. Bloody Mary Fest. Your ticket includes unlimited Bloody Marys, food, drink, tastings from local companies, 1 vote for the People's Choice Award, and you get to meet Bloody Mary lovers from around the world.
Ooh.
You get temporary tattoos,
Fun.
photo ops, and it benefits Girl Empowerment Network. And so just, Google Bloody Mary Fest. That's happening on Saturday.
Nice.
It looks fun if you like that type of thing.
Nice.
And then Sunday, y'all know your girl loves a drag show. Vixens of Volstead Drag Brunch is on Sunday from 12 to 2:30. It's free. It's 21 and up. And I think personally, it's just one of those really fun. It's one of those really fun drag brunches. Sometimes I think drag brunches can be very bougie, and that's great too. But if you just want to go and have a good time, It's got DJ Boyfriend. You get brunch by Borracho Tacos. They got a little market.
Nice.
Yeah. And so that is for Sunday. And then some other just like random things that are happening. Sunday from 4 to 9, Sweartiversary is happening. Suerte is turning 7. And they have guest chefs, unlimited tacos, DJs, merch, flash tattoos, cocktails, and the tickets are only $100.
All right.
And then March 22nd and 23rd from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. is the Austin Herb Society Plant Sale and Garden Expo at Zilker Botanical Gardens. Listen.
That's perfect timing.
Yeah, so stock up on organic herbs, veggies, native plants. You can shop for herbal tinctures, teas, and that's my speed, aromatherapy products, and more. And they're going to have live demos and natural dyeing techniques. So
that sounds great.
Y'all, spring is springing. It's time to, maybe since it is after South by, I'm kind of with you, Kelsey. I'm like, I'm less on the drinking and partying right now.
Yeah.
More on the walking around during the daytime looking cute.
Looking at plants.
Looking at plants.
Well, and you mentioned March Madness.
Listen.
So we also have to talk about the official March Madness because the UT women's basketball team is kicking it off.
Oh.
They are number 1
Come through.
seed. And UT's actually hosting their first game on Saturday. It's at 8:45 and it's going to be at the Moody. So that'll be a lot of fun. And I think it's going to be quick, because those games, it's just one and done. If you miss, the UT men's team has already lost. So they are no longer in the tourney. So I hope you didn't have that on your bracket. But go Longhorns. Let's go, ladies. If you need a good place to watch it, go to the 1972 bar.
Speaking of which, I was just about to bring it up.
All right.
They had a cute little opening this week. It was packed.
Yep.
It was packed.
People are ready.
Listen, I saw more lesbians at that opening than I have seen, I want to say ever in Austin, but maybe I'm being a little bit extra.
Since Butterfly Bar closed.
Listen, so many lesbians, all of them cute. Nicole and I both walked in and was like, oh, hello.
Nice. This is where the sporty spices are.
Listen, if we knew it was going to be like this, we would have dressed cuter. So congratulations to 1972 Bar on y'all's success.
You're going to say congratulations, lesbians.
Yes, congratulations, lesbians. We finally have somewhere to watch. Congratulations.
It's women's sports.
It's women's sports.
All day, every day.
It was super cute. The food looked good. Everybody looked like they were having a great time. So congrats to them. And that's dope.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
And that is all from us, y'all. Thank you so much for rounding up the news with me this week.
Happy to.
Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend, y'all. Bye. Come on, Mariah. Yes.
Hit it.
Bye, Ruth. Bye, Kelsey.
Adios.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. Our executive producer is Eva Ruth Moravec. Our producers this week are Zoe Culkin and Elizabeth Kama. And I'm your host, Nikki Devon. Our Hey Austin newsletter editor is Kelsey Bradshaw. And music is by Nelson Valente Aguilar of Como Las Movies. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.